Good morning. It's now time for our cooking segment. We're live from Kelly's Furniture and Carpet One with Andrea Greer, the head executive chef at Northeast Regional Medical Center. How are you doing?
Good. Look at you. I like that.
Yeah. So I used to always just, introduce you as head chef, but then I realized in your email it says executive chef, and I feel like that's just a lot more proper and more prestigious to say. So
That's true.
there you go.
Credit
But
where
today we're
credit's due.
cooking with beer.
We are. I was challenged by Lloyd Distributing to do some things with Boulevard Wheat, so we're going to do a couple different things. I'm going to show how to make a sauce, but I'm also going to talk about other things that we have done or the recipes that you are also going to be posting.
Okay.
I'm going to make a beer sauce that we're going to actually put on a drunken chicken that I made.
Hopefully it doesn't walk home or drive home.
No, it's dead. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. Thank you for your concern, though. So we're going to put a little garlic in here. We got a little olive oil in there. Get it going. Then we'll throw in the onions. You want to hand me the onions?
There you go.
Look at those gloves.
I know. I am ready to cook.
That's why
Who makes these things?
Got a
We're
little
cooking,
excited. He got a little excited. All right, let's turn up the heat a little bit.
Okay.
While this is sauteing down, I'll talk about the drunken chicken. So what I did is we did a brine. Instead of putting water in it, I used the Boulevard Wheat. When you're at home, you're doing 4 or 5 people. All you need is 2-3 cans of it.
Right.
You add in a half a cup of sugar, about 2 tablespoons of salt. Let it sit for about 24 hours at your desire, what you're looking for it to soak in. It actually turned out really well. I ate one this morning while I was cooking it. Don't judge me.
Oh,
I figured I wanted to make sure it was good for you all.
Right.
So, okay, so we got this going. So what we're going to do, we're going to put in, and I did their Porter Boulevard. It's a more hoppier beer. It has a lot more flavor to it. I will warn people, though, if when you start to saute all this and then you put it in there and you want to taste it right away, it's going to be horrible.
Okay.
It does not taste good until you get done with it.
Okay. Now, are there certain types of beer that you want to cook with, or because I know some people will pour their Coors Light on brats and let them soak overnight, and then they have beer brats. Do you recommend that, or do you want something that has more flavor to it?
What I recommend is a full flavor beer.
Okay.
If you're gonna do, like I did beer brats, what I did was I sauteed some white onion and I put it into their 80 acres and let it sit overnight.
Okay.
But what I always tell people, if you're gonna cook with something, cook with what you like.
Okay.
I don't suggest cooking with a light beer because it doesn't have the hoppiness or the flavor of it that you want.
Okay. Good to know.
So we put the beer in here. And and it'll foam up. Don't worry, it's supposed to do that. It's beer. That's what it does.
Right.
So you let it cook up for a while, and it your whole house will smell like beer eventually, and then your neighbors will judge you. It's okay. But so you'll let it cook up, and you want it to boil for a while. You want it to reduce.
Okay. I can smell it. I can smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I walked into some of the girls came in this morning into the hospital when I was making this at the hospital, and they were like, "Chef, it smells like beer. What's going on?"
You're like, I'm just cooking. No
Yeah,
big
I was
deal.
like, "Don't judge me. It's early."
All right.
So we start this boil and get it going. So then we're going to add in the butter.
There you go.
Thank you. And you do want this to reduce down a little bit more. You want it to boil up like that. That's fine. That's perfect. And then we'll add in the butter. You want about 2 tablespoons of butter in there.
Okay.
Just to give it kind of a creamy.
Okay.
So as that cooks down, people, like I said, are going to taste it. And because they're going to think it's done. It's not done.
Okay.
It will have a really hoppy flavor at the end of it that you're going to be like, oh God, this is nasty. I don't want to put it on top
Right.
of anything. So as it cooks down a little more and the butter starts to mix in with it, we're going to add a little honey into it.
Ooh.
Look at this service.
know.
Top pop.
I never got that kind of service when Sam was here. Good thing we switched that out.
No.
Just kidding. I miss you, Sam.
She's watching right now.
She's jealous.
I told her I'd bring her some leftovers. So another question, I know with wine and stuff, do eventually you cook off the alcohol in there?
You do. You will
Okay.
cook off the alcohol. That's
Okay.
why you want to use a fuller beer, full body beer.
Okay.
Because you're going to cook all the alcohol out of it, so you want the flavors afterwards. Obviously, if you're doing cooking with alcohol, cook with an alcohol that you like.
Okay.
Cook with a wine you like. Cook with a beer you like. I'm a big fan of Boulevard, so
Okay.
That was always a plus to go with. We also did beer brats. How I do beer brats is I saute up some white onions. I'll add in a can of beer into that and kind of caramelize it and cook it down. And then I put it over the brats when they're raw and let them sit in the cooler for about 24 hours. Then grill them off. You can do the same thing with the chicken. It gives it a lot of flavor and, you know.
Okay. And if you're just joining us, we're live from Kelly's Furniture and Carpet One in the kitchen, and you are looking at beer chicken right now. We also made some beer brats courtesy of Andrea Greer. She is the executive chef at Northeast Regional Medical Center. So really quickly, go ahead and walk us through the steps.
Okay, we did a drunken chicken, which we, instead of using water for the brine, we used the Boulevard 80 acres and just added a little sugar and salt to it, let it sit for 24 hours.
Okay.
With the brats, we sauteed some onions and added some of the Boulevard to it, Boulevard wheat, and let it sit in there for about 24 hours also before we grilled them off. We made a beer sauce with their porter. You saute up a little onions, garlic. We added in the beer, let it reduce a little bit, put a little butter, honey, and there you go.
All right, and what you had also mentioned when it comes to cooking with alcohol, to use something that you enjoy. So if it's
That's
a
right.
wine you like, cook with that, a beer or something, and when you do cook with beer, to use it, use one that has full flavor. Right?
Yeah, you can use light beer, but I just assume if you're gonna use a beer, use a full flavor
Yeah.
beer, so that way you get the full flavor, the taste of it.
Go big or go home.
That's right. Might as well.
All right, so can we try this?
Go for it.
Okay.
Get into it.
Even the fly buzzing around likes it. Not too shabby, huh?
It's pretty good.
Good stuff.
I think the chicken's the best.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now you're jealous.
Well, fantastic. How are you even supposed to do this?
Just, you know.
Well, bare hands.
Well, I usually use my hands, but I'm just
the
trying to be
main
a little
thing.
polite.
Caveman style.
Caveman style.
And this is the one that you used, you put a little honey in it, right?
Yeah, that's the sauce that we made, and we put it on top of the chicken afterwards. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. That's really good. I do like the little sweetness to it.
Yeah, it gives it a little sweeter. With the porter beers, you know, they have a lot of harsh flavor, so gotta add a little sweet to it.
Well, thank you so much. What we'll do is we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com. We hope you have a fabulous weekend, and we'll see you right back here Monday morning at 5:30 a.m.